Okay, YouTube, this is part 4, I believe. And we're going to reassemble the control valve now. Got everything cleaned up last night. Angel says hello. There she is right there. I can see her in the screen. Got a different camera angle here. The tripod is actually sitting on the bench, so if you see a little shaking, sorry about that. If I like the way the video looks, I'm going to make a mount on a shelf, which is directly behind the camera right now. So, like I was saying, I got all my parts cleaned up and organized out. They're all laid over here. I don't have my camera positioned for that. So, first thing we want to do, Angel, you're going to have to give me some room, girl. She's wanting to play. She's wanting some attention. Now, first thing we need to do here is the old seal. Dry and hard. You can feel a big difference between the new one. On this piece here, it goes there. And not that I had it exactly memorized, but it kind of makes sense because that slot there is the exact same size as the ID hole in that. So that's how I remembered that. And I remember this washer going over there. Now, I need to get a lot of grease. Let's make sure I got that sleeve position. Yes, it is. But what we need to do is get, let's see, I think, can't remember. Okay, I remember now. Had a brain fart. I was trying to remember which went in first, the spring or the actual cups. I was going to delete that out, but I don't think I'm going to. Had to go back and look at the diagram real quick, but we're going to put some grease up in there. And I think I can get this in that hole. No, I probably can't. Okay, we'll have to go in through here. Gotta get that to where it'll slide. See this? There's a bushing in here, and that's what I had to actually drive back last night to get the ball stud out. I just pack some grease behind it, which really probably isn't doing much. I'm gonna put some more in there, a bunch of it in there. Then we got our ball valve. Then we got another seat. And I don't know if I can show you on the old ones because they're pretty dirty. But always remember one thing, when you put these in here, see that relief right there? That needs to go up towards the top of the ball valve so that the shaft can move this away. Let me grab another rag real quick. It'll be a long video again just because I don't have everything ready. And we're not doing too bad though. But okay, we got that in. And I'm going to take a quick look at my diagram. My hands are dirty, so I'm not bringing the camera with me. And it looks like you got spring, which we got a new one. Yeah, you got a spring that goes in. Yeah, the spring goes up against the ball valve seat I've already put in. Which, like I said, these are new with the kit. Did not have to use the old ones. And that goes in there like that. And that just fits up against there. And, okay. But we also, yeah, we kind of need to, what I should have done, which we still can, yeah, we kind of need to push that away, this shaft that away, I think. Seems like it shouldn't go that far over. Well, yes it can, I think. We'll see. If we forget something, I'll let you know. Okay, but yeah, that should be in the center, kind of. I don't see anything else that goes in there. Okay, it's supposed to be everything. See, nothing else that goes in behind that. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to go. Okay, well, we'll see how it works out. I'm not too sure about that, really. But, I know what happens. There are threads in that bushing that I was just concerned about. This screws into there, and when I screw them into it, it's going to pull it up in the right position. But in order to make that happen, I need to get that far enough up in there to where I can get some threads started. Okay. So probably let's see, I need something with a hook on it. Okay, sorry about that. I had to find something I could use to get that bushing back out. And what I have are some snap ring pliers that spread open. They got little teeth on there to grip onto it, and I'm going to get on the inside of this bushing that these ball valve seats go inside, and I'm just going to position it out here so that I can have my bushing is out far enough to where I can take this and start screwing that in there. And before I do that, I'm not going to use, I could probably use grease on this, but I'm not. Because from here up, no power steering fluid is getting in there, and none of this grease can get into the area where power steering or hydraulic fluid is going to be. You don't want this kind of grease inside of a hydraulic unit. That's not good. That's kind of like having it inside of a automatic transmission. Not going to work. So when you need to lube up your seals in a hydraulic type application, if that's what you want to call it, Vaseline is a good way to lube up the seals so that you don't cut them or tear them and they slide on easier and stuff like that. And it dissolves really easy and will not harm any of the system. Hopefully this will screw in there and we did not mess up any threads. It kind of acts like it doesn't want to screw in there. Alright, hit pause the camera again. The threads were trying to cross thread on me, and I just didn't want to spend a lot of camera time trying to get it in straight, and I found the right size wrench so I won't be messing up that surface with the pliers like I was doing when I disassembled it. There's a very small flat. They don't give you much to work with there. And I'm hoping after I screw this in, which I should, because I still got to put this pin in, if you remember. It slides into a slot on the head of this actual bolt. But if I remember right, I had to take that out to screw this out. So yes, we should be able to do that. And I thought my seal was trying to squeeze out. It's just the Vaseline coming out there. And I'm going to have to go in and get my glasses too. I need to go buy me an extra pair of those cheap reading glasses. One pair to keep out in the garage and several pairs for several rooms in the house. But yeah, that's... I don't know how tight I'm supposed to get this. Probably want to be careful not to get too tight because you just it'll squeeze that rubber seal. But I thought it would kind of bottom out before that happened, and it is. Yeah, I feel it. You don't have to get it super tight. It's not going anywhere. Turn that wrench the other way. Okay, good. Now, what I need to do, there we go, that's worked loose. That is very, very tight. I don't know if it's supposed to be that tight or not. I would think, whoops, sorry about the shaking around, but I would think I need to be able to move that Well, probably all that grease squeezed in there, but let's go ahead and put our pin in, which goes, where did that thing go? Let's see here, we're going to shake the camera around a little bit. Sorry about that, but there we go, you can move it. It's just very tight. Maybe it's supposed to be. And I see, here we go. See these holes here? And see that ring right there? You can see half the hole, I hope. Well, there is a half a hole in this actual part right here. And my pin is lined up with one of those holes, I think. Kinda. Okay, and you gotta spin this around because there's a slot, like I told you, on the back of that head. And you just push that pin in there. And everything goes back together like that. And when we bolt it all together, this can't pop in and out. And I'm relieved to see that I can actually move that, but this is supposed to be that tight. Got a lot of grease in there too, that tightens it up. But I think I'm going to go ahead just to keep grease from getting everywhere. Go ahead and put my rubber boot and clamp on. Looks like that could go on it either way. Either, however you want to say it. I usually don't say either. I don't know why I said it that way. Okay. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Got some new screws. It's kind of looking like you almost need to squeeze these ends together just so your screws are long enough to go where you want them to go. Okay, I'm going to spin this around to where I can get to it. Okay, it's not going to be easy. I need to spin it around to where it's on top. As you can see, I don't do this every single day. That's why it's looking so clumsy. But somebody who does a video on this, he's probably rebuilt hundreds of these, can make it look so easy. And I think it's good for people to see what the average guy, what it's like for the average guy like me to do it. So I'm not completely inexperienced at working on stuff. It's just that this particular thing here I have not done before. And that is not going to work out like it's supposed to. I need to get those crimped together good and flat. I may even end up using my old clamp, clean it up because I think it'll work better. I think I might end up doing that. You know what? I don't like that new clamp. Let me clean this old one up and we'll try it. Okay, it doesn't look as pretty, but it works better. The original clamp, that is. And yes, I did pause the camera again. See how much easier that is when you use the original stuff. Even though it's dirty and ugly. That new clamp just wasn't cutting it. I guess I could have eventually made it work, but why fight it? And this will go right together. But really, it wasn't a bad kit. I need to check the pricing on that kit and let you know how much this costs compared to just buying a new control valve and cylinder. Believe me, this is a lot cheaper. And I still think I could put a grease fitting in there. But for now, we're just going to put this back in. Luckily I got all my tools, most of my tools, close by and handy right behind me. Not too tight, you can shred that out real easy. Now, okay, there's that part. So far so good. Yeah, you can move it. Except that still needs to all go back together so that I won't be pushing that out. Okay, now we're going to move on to this part. We're going to go ahead and get all this together. First thing we need to do is put this piston in. And I've looked at it and studied it and measured it. It's got a bunch of grooves on this side, both sides. They're both spaced in the same position on either side. Got two bleed holes, one there and one there. So they're both identical on either side. I don't see any way you could put this in backwards. Either way should work, I hope. I hope it should. But go ahead and slide it in the bore. Get it lined up there. And you get a washer on either side. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one in first. Then we get a spring. And this aluminum plug, which has an O-ring seal. I've already replaced the O-ring seal, if you can see that, with the new one in the kit. Pretty easy to do. I don't think I need to show you that. But I'm going to go ahead and tap that in. Make sure it's below the surface there. Got a straight edge around here somewhere, I think. Must have had one. Where's my straight edge? Dang it. Just had it too. Boy, I tell you, no matter how hard you try, do not waste time. Here it is, it's right here. I did get it out. Thought I did. But I'm just going to lay this straight edge right here and make sure it's below the surface. Right now it's not. It needs to come down a little more. Just going to take this. I mean, it don't take much. And there you go. That way it doesn't interfere with the surface it's mating to and cause a leak. And now we get a washer on this side. And this plug here, you can tell the difference between this one and the other one, goes on this side with the big bore. And we got that, and then that, and we'll tap it in. Just use my old cheap screwdriver that I don't really care about that much. There we go. That one's kind of moving in and out, which I guess is okay, because that spring's pushing on it. And since the spring is pushing out, we should be okay when we made all that together. I may take a file and just knock all that down flat real quick. Just knocking them burrs off there. I don't know if my air compressor is fired up or not. I need to get those little filings out of there. Just do it like that for now. Okay, there's that part. Let's see if I can remember how all this goes. And okay, I need to rewatch my video of the disassembly. I think this groove is on the side of the small bore, but I'm going to double check my video to be sure. Okay, I had to go back and rewatch my videos and reconfirm the way this piston goes in. This groove here, this is a small bore. I've already dipped this in power steering fluid. Just wanted to throw that little note in there. But you go ahead and work that in. Like I said, this groove, small bore, it goes in that way. Not sure if it really even matters. It might. But just in case, put everything back in the way it came out. And now, I already got a new seal. Replaced my old one. And these little hard plastic bushings here go inside the seal. They are the original ones. They don't come in the kit. Rubber seals do. And we're going to try to work this seal in there. Make sure I did use the right seal. I think I did. Yeah, there's the old one. Yeah, okay. Let's see if we can work this seal in without everything getting all out of whack here. These seals are not that easy to get in, I know that much. I might want to find something to set this on top of. Maybe not, I don't know. Let's see if that... I was wanting that piston to move down a little farther, but not too far. These seals are not easy to get in when the piston's already in. So I'm kind of pushing the piston out now. Piston, that is. Did I say piston or piston? I don't know. Anyway, okay, I'm getting the seal in. I'm finding it's easier to get the seal where it's supposed to be with the plastic bushing not in there. But that plastic bushing has got to stay. Okay, I think we got it. And it should be kind of trapped in that slot. Just kind of a step in this bore, and it should be trapped between these two ridges here. I believe that's the way it's supposed to go. And my piston kind of popped back out. Let's see if I can push it back up in that seal without pushing the seal out. And I did not. It's not as easy as they make it look. Okay. Which maybe I'll try it that way. He hid the piston in. The guy who made the video that I was talking about in disassembly, that is, in case you're wondering. Yeah, he went ahead and just put it all together like that. And he made it look quite easy. I mean, he struggled with it a little bit. Maybe I should take a socket, see if I can't. Really hope I don't tear up the seal doing this. No, it's not as easy as he makes it look. You can't even see what I'm doing, but okay, I pushed the piston down again. I'm going to try to work the seal back in the way I had it before. This is not easy. Need a smaller screwdriver than that. I'm trying to work that lip down past the step. And I pushed it too far. Wow, this can get frustrating. This can get very frustrating. There it goes. I'll just do just the seal. Let's see what happens. I'm going to do just the seal. I managed to get it in there. But then you had the problem of getting that in without pushing the seal too far past the step. Okay, it's in. But we now have to work this back into the seal without, let's just try turning it and see what happens without pushing my seal back out. Turning seems to be working. Yeah, maybe we got it. These seals are tight, which means, like I said, hopefully that'll really make this thing work better. Okay. What I think I might end up doing here, see, there is a washer that goes on top of this, and you put like a clamp on that. Wow, all this struggling makes for a long video, which I didn't want to do, but what can you do? We're going to try something that may or may not work good. We got to put that washer in anyway. This is the it's like a spring clamp. Pretty easy to get in there. It's supposed to shove up against our washer and hopefully keep. And see, that's supposed to keep that seal from coming out. Now let's see if we can push our piston, work our piston into the seal. There we go. And that did it. That's the trick to that. Get that washer and clamp in there and then work your piston in. So that solves that problem. We finally got that. Now, and one more thing, this rubber washer, as you want to call it, or whatever you want to call it. This is the old one, it's kind of hard. Here's the new one. Just put the rubber washer right there. And I'm going to put a little Vaseline on it so that hopefully it will stick. I myself do not like to use grease on the hydraulic part of anything, so I use Vaseline. Like I said before, because it dissolves easier. I've used it on automatic transmissions. I've rebuilt quite a few in my day, automatic transmissions, and Vaseline always works good for that. So now we get to try some Vaseline on this seal, see if that works better than the actual hydraulic fluid, power steering fluid. We use both. It tends to make it real slick, which I think is what I want. Let's see if this seal will work in. Let me find me a little screwdriver that isn't too awful sharp. Just going to work that ridge in there while applying pressure. See, that guy's video was helpful, but it doesn't show this part. He just pushed it in with his hands. I guess he's probably rebuilt a bunch and just has a knack for it. I think it should be flush. It's not exactly. There we go. Yeah, it's pushing in. Kind of flush. It's a gasket goes on there, I think. Or, no, that plate. Yeah, the plate goes here. And I'm guessing that, yeah, that plate should go like that. But that, when you bolt all that down good and tight, that will keep that down good and flush. It feels, so it's sticking above it a little bit, but I'm hoping. So you get that there, and no, that gasket goes on the other side. So this seal here is pretty much all that I can see that goes there. Okay, there's that part then. So there's that assembled. Who knows how much video time I've used here. Now, I'm pretty sure the plate goes on top of there. And which we gotta wait till we get the rest of it assembled. This goes here. So I'm going to have to move the camera and double check how everything goes back together, and hopefully the rest of it will go a little bit smoother than this part. Hang on. Okay, got my gasket surface cleaned up here. Got to put your gasket on. This is all pretty easy here. And that should go in. One thing I did not check, just to make sure the piston moves freely. And yes, it does, without shoving the seal out. And yes, it does. Get that cleaned off, wiped off there. Make sure there's no dirt. Now, I thought about using Permatex, but a little rule of thumb I used to live by whenever I do an automatic transmission, which it's been a while, is a lot of transmission guys would tell me, and the reason I keep comparing this to transmission stuff is, hang on, just make sure I got my, yes, I do have my rubber seal in there. Okay, I seen one laying there, and I got concerned, but they always, all the transmission guys, and the reason I'm comparing this to automatic transmission rebuilds is because it is a hydraulic unit. I always say, a lot of them will say, stay away from Permatex, because one little chunk of it gets in your fluid circulation. It can get, a tiny little piece of it can get caught in a piston or whatever, and you can see there are pistons and springs, and it can make it stick and cause problems. So they always tell me just clean your gasket surfaces off really good and you should be fine. You don't need to use Permatex because it could cause you problems. I'm trying to get this boat started here. Just that little, just something I was told in the past and a little rule I live by. So, and I've never had problems with stuff like this leaking because usually on hydraulic stuff, the gasket mating surface is machined good, flat, and smooth. So you don't really have to have Permatex to fill in any pits or imperfections, which is what it's really for. So hands are slick from the grease and the hydraulic fluid. And I'm going to, after I do this part, I'm going to have to pause the camera again just to make sure I remember how this assembly goes here. Looks pretty straightforward and simple, but just want to be sure. And it's starting to look like a control valve again. And really, you know, if a guy was to do this 2 or 3 times, it really is simple. It's not that much to it. Just a matter of remembering how everything goes, and that's why I've kind of taken so much time and taking it slowly because I keep going back in the house and rechecking. I need another smaller PC out here, I guess, computer that is. That would be handy, I guess. If you need to refer to a video, have a small computer or maybe a laptop, I guess. So I don't have to run in and out of the house so much. Make sure this is tight, but I won't want to crank on it so hard that I pull my piece out of the vise. There we go. You can see I spun it a little bit. Actually, I think it spun on that. Yeah, it did. It's no big deal. Oh, that's not going to move by hand, but that's tight enough. Okay, now I'm going to just going to go over how I think it should go. I think this just goes here. And then we got this piece, and there's an O-ring. See, all this stuff bolts on here too. So, oh yeah, this goes here, I think. Yep, it does. Yeah, it goes like that. Maybe I won't refer to it. I might go ahead and just finish assembling this and double check myself. And I have 2 washers though. That's kind of a, I'm not sure, but I think a washer might go here. Well, that's what I need to double check then. Okay, hang on. Okay, we watched the end of that dude's video one last time, and his name of his channel is Deom's Workshop. I think I'm saying that right. D-E-O-M-E, I think it's something like that, but I'll spell it out on my video description. And I'm really glad I watched that last part of it because we got to do some torquing of this right here. We got to torque the nut down that goes on this. And let's see if I can remember everything the dude said. He has an accent. He's Hispanic, I believe, pretty sure. But you can understand what he says. And it's very helpful. And I want to thank you, Dion, if I'm saying that right, for putting that video up, because you helped me get this, figure out how to put this back together where it's supposed to, and appreciate that. But anyway, okay, we have a plate that goes on here first, and I'm guessing that this rubber seal, which is sticking out a little bit, will, when I tighten the bolts down after I put the cap on and everything, that seal is what seals all that up. And so we got to put that on first. And let's see, I believe a washer goes on first. And we got to put our spacer on. Got that. Then we got that. Yeah, I guess that washer does. Yes, it does, because those washers are for either side of that spacer. That's what they're for. And then we got to put this on. Then we got another washer. And we just hand tighten this. Do not tighten it with a wrench, because what the guy said to do is tighten this up to 1 72 to 100 inch-pounds. Not foot-pounds, but inch-pounds. This is an inch-pound wrench. I just keep turning that until it clicks. I'm starting to feel a little. There we go. That's 100 inch-pounds, and he said, back it off. I wrote myself a note. Loosen 1/4 of a turn. So, we know all the way around is 1 full revolution, 1/2. So, yeah, right about. Now I'm going to turn. Okay, now I'm going to wait until the nut actually starts spinning on the threads, because if you can see, I'm moving all the whole thing right now. Okay, so right there would be half. I'm going to loosen it up 1/4. And I guess if things don't feel right, I'm not sure what went wrong, if you had that too tight or too loose. Once it's all together, all you'd have to do is take this cap off and adjust it if you needed to change it. So that's a good thing to know. Just kind of thought of that on my own. Every now and then I do figure things out without looking at YouTube videos. So there's that. Now you got to put this little O-ring seal on there. I guess that O-ring's right. It really doesn't. Yeah, it's the same size. Just doesn't look like it fits in the groove very well. But we'll see. And I don't guess this really matters. Let's go ahead and run our screws through here. Tighten this up and we'll be ready to, we'll call this a video once this is assembled, and then when I get it all together, we'll probably make one final video after this video once I get it together and running. I'm probably not going to film any installation of the assembly under the car. I am going to show you when I get everything together on the bench before I put it all in the car, because the reason I'm not going to film under the car while I'm working is it's very tight working conditions in there. Got the Torino in there, so you've seen that. And that's not looking like it's going on very flat. There we go, it is now. And I found a screwdriver that fits it a little better than the one I was using when I took it off. And no torque specs that I know of on this. Of course, it's just a screw. And it looks like everything's seated up flat, so I think we're okay there. I wish those were nuts. I just don't feel good about using a screwdriver to tighten that up. Especially since those old screws are kind of corroded. Use these channel locks, get a little extra power on this. And that should be tight enough. Okay, there it is assembled. We're going to call this a video. This is part 4, maybe 5. I done lost track. Let's see, I think this is 4. But there it is, assembled. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but did the best I could. I just wanted to show you everything that is involved in putting this together. At least it was for a guy like me who has never done a power steering control valve unit. But if I had to do it all over again, I would be a lot quicker, have more stuff memorized. When you got it all memorized, they go together quicker and easier. You learn all the little tricks that I had to learn on my own, as you've seen on film. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. The next video hopefully will be a successful ending of having the Torino running, and that may happen this afternoon.